This video, I'm going to tell you guys the difference between RAG and fine tuning. What should you use for what purpose? I know that RAG has recently blew up in the last couple of months, and I've kind of just played around with a bit of fine tuning with Quabrid, and I created my own model, tuned it a bit, and I'm going to show you the difference between these two things. So let's get started. So first off, what the heck is even RAG, right? Well, RAG is basically where you are taking raw documents, you're basically chunking it, thinking about it as like taking like 100 pages and then separating those pages in order to kind of just process all this massive amount of information. And then you're basically turning those chunks into vector databases, which is how the kind of just system stores all this information and can pull it up when it needs to be. And then it basically indexes it. And then if you're using it for your LLM, it will basically kind of just look back at the sheets and then just go from there, which is, I think, super helpful when you are creating like short-term solutions for a client. You're like, oh shoot, let me just print out this agent real quick. The RAG that I use is Pinecone. I really like that one, personal favorite. But yeah, that's basically RAG for the most part. Now, fine tuning is going to be a little bit more complex for the most part, because you are basically, it requires one of these machines that I got, which has a RTX 4800, and you need a lot of power and money to basically fine tune something. In just personal experience, this is the model that I was fine tuning, and I had literally had to stop it because it was just eating away my money. But it was just a really good experience on like when to use what for the most part, because I think a lot of the times RAG seems like really good, but I mean, kind of just think about like fine tuning is like you modifying the brain to think a certain way and to answer in a certain way, and think of like RAG as like a just like a what if. Oh, you should, here's this prompt, but also just like keep in mind about this. But there's, I think this is more of a tool where fine tuning is more integrated within the model, so it's going to give better answers, and it's going to win long term. But for short term, RAG is absolutely beast. So without further ado, we're going to look at this. So basically, RAG will reduce hallucinations, but fine tuning will do the same, but it doesn't really guarantee anything. It needs just like high quality data. It needs like specific tasks. It needs a lot of resources versus RAG, which is a lot easier to set up, in my opinion. So basically, what I've learned from using the both of them is that they are both extinct. They often comprehend LLMs so that they can really perform the LLM's knowledge and really kind of just help it, just guide it. As you can see here, I'm going to ask it who is Luke, and then it's going to go into its data, and then it's going to give me a very personalized answer because of the vector database, right? So that's huge, and that's the power of RAG. But fine-tuning is just more for long term, and really gets down on tone and like brand awareness, which if you're working with a client for a long time, it makes sense to do something like that. But if you're just signing on your client, like RAG is perfect for just testing things and kind of seeing the potential of everything. So I hope you learned a ton from this video. I just wanted to make this video so that you understand like why you should use RAG or why you should use fine-tuning, because fine-tuning is, people think it's like super technical and it's just way out there, but I even did it. And it did cost a little bit of money, but I think it is worth it if you are onboarding like a mega business, like a law firm or like healthcare. It just makes a lot of sense to do that. So